Welcome everybody to what I have called Live July instead of Dry July. Because I was thinking, I thought, why not create a workshop where we can do goal setting and really look at our dreams and our desires and to make a difference, not just go, I would like to lose a kg this month, or I would like to, stop drinking alcohol. That's great, by the way, if you are doing Dry July, but who's to say we can't just make this a whole entire, let's 10x all of our dreams and targets and make stuff happen. So I thought, what is better than doing something like this on your own is doing it with people. So I thought, why not? So I whipped this together in the last few days and downloaded this workbook in my mind. And here I am to share it with you and take it through with you, to go through it with you in this process. So I want to take a moment to say thank you for showing up. And if you are watching our replay, thank you for showing up and doing this, because we do require to keep doing work. We do require to keep tapping into our targets and our goals and seeing our gaps. And that's why many of us have coaches. I have a coach where people can actually show me where I have unconscious gaps as well. So hopefully you're going to get a few epiphanies in this process as well. Maybe you'll get a few epiphanies, maybe you'll have a few aha moments, maybe you will just get a little bit of clarity on what it is that you're desiring to choose going forward. And I also want to let you know, this isn't just about July. You can do this every freaking month if you like. You can print off this workbook and you can, or just take what you want from it and redo it every single month. You can do it every single year. I just thought, I like the first of every month. July is probably my favorite month in the whole entire year, and it seems to be like my New Year's. So July is usually the most productive month for me, and I seem to download a whole lot of information. So I'm not sure if that's true for you or what month pops for you, but July is a month for me. So I wanted to celebrate that with you. So again, thank you for being here. So this is the workbook that was created, and we're going to be going through this. I kept it very basic this time. If you've done any of my programs, you know that I love PDFs. I love creating stuff like this, and yeah, it's just for you to use if that feels in alignment with you. So I've put together some life coaching models, and also I've jotted down in front of me the things that I feel are really important for myself, so you may resonate with them as well. Now, I'm not going to go into human design in this hour of power, but if you do know human design, or your star sign, or whatever it is, your personality type, whatever kind of tools that you've done, you'll know that we're all different. We're all very, very different, which means that our goals and our targets, our desires and our dreams are all completely different as well. So never doing comparing is really freaking important. If we start doing comparing, then we're falling out of alignment. And the purpose of doing a workshop like this is to try to achieve the goals and targets, our dreams and our focuses, but constantly tapping in to see if we're in alignment. And this is where many people get out of balance, is because they'll do anything it takes to get their goals and their targets. And then you can actually notice with some of these people that their marriages break down, or maybe their bodies, they get out of sync with their bodies. Or maybe their bank accounts drop out, or whatever it is. So wealth, health, and finances are the three main keys. So we're going to be looking into that today to do some goal setting on that. And then also I've left a page at the back where I'll tell you what mine is going to be, but where there might be something you really want to focus on this month for yourself. It might be business, it might be spiritual growth, it may be, I don't know, finding the partner of your dreams. That could actually fall under relationships. But I've left this kind of space for you to start playing with. Now, this workbook is literally just a guide. So make sure you've got some paper next to you. Make sure you've got your journal, because you might actually want to write on there, or do it in your own format, because this is the way my brain works. Your brain may work a little bit differently, and that's okay as well. Okay, so I wanted to firstly start off with tapping into our potential. We all have so much freaking potential. And you may have heard that your whole life. At school, for instance, I was reading my old reports the other day. It said Victoria has so much potential, but she doesn't apply herself. That was the theme of my whole entire schooling. And as you can probably tell, yes, I was the talker. I was a whisperer to my friends. I was the note. I got easily distracted. You could have called me ADHD and dyslexic. I was a mix of both of them. And but I had the potential always sitting there. So it's really, really important to know that we all have potential. Some people get triggered because they've been told their whole lives they have potential, that they're gifted spiritually, or they are very creative. And they're like, what is this potential? Where is it? I can't see it. So we must acknowledge that we have potential, but potential is like intuition. We tap into it and we get this hit. Oh my God, I want to start that business. It sounds amazing. Everyone's had those intuitive hits. I want to do that. That was a great deal. Oh, I wish I had done that back then when I had that intuitive hit to do so. But the reason why we don't listen and take aligned action, like many of us don't take aligned action quite often, is because rather than just taking that aligned action when we get that intuitive hit, we go to our head and then we go, okay, the next step is to do the pros and the cons list. Yep. That's what I've been taught to do. So we start writing out the pros, we start writing out the cons. This is what we were all told to do as well when we think about breaking up with a partner. I did this with my own husband before we got married and we broke up once years and years ago. I wrote pros and cons. Of course, pros and cons list isn't always going to work because you're going into your head and you're trying to think of things. When you're doing this, you're actually letting go of that intuitive hit that you had, because the intuitive hits that we have don't always make sense. They are really like a spiritual guide from our higher self to go in that direction. Then your head goes, but that direction doesn't make sense. So you go to your brain, and you've been told to utilize your brain and see that as more important than your intuitive hit, right? So you went to school and you were told to use the brain, not the intuition. At school, they weren't saying, what does your intuition say about that? They're saying, well, use your brain. How many people, parents said, use your brain? Like, why'd you do that? That was stupid. Use your brain. We get, kids get this all the time. So rather than, sitting there and doing the pros and the cons list, and started being awake right now doesn't make sense, laugh out loud. What time is it there, Teal? She's over in the UK. This is dedication. I love it. So basically we've got this intuition, we get this hit and we're like, oh my God, it feels so great. And then you tell someone about it, they may go into their brain, they might say, do you really think that's a good idea? Or we go and do our pros and our cons. We go to our head and then we go, oh, that's in the too hard basket. Yeah, nah. I'm not going to do that. 3:30 in the morning. High five to you, Teal. You are amazing. This is called consistency and dedication, which we will get to. So we tend to put things on hold because we go, oh, opening that cafe or that gym or starting that spiritual business or being, I've done the life coach thing, but I wanted to start my own thing. It seems like there's too much stuff to do. It's too hard. There's more cons than there is pros right now. Nah, I'm not doing it. So we give up on our dreams. Now, this happens to people. And if this has happened to you and you have done this, put it in the chat box. Let me know. I want to know, because I know I've certainly done it many times, many times. But one thing I can say about myself, or why I've put this workshop together, is because I'm always committed and dedicated to create from a place of passion, and I will never give up. I will never, ever give up. And if one way doesn't work, I will find another. Now, that is one of my traits that I really like about myself most of the time, because it's a stubbornness. So when we are listening with our brain and we're doing the pros and cons list, we convince ourselves to not do it, because running a cafe, starting a gym, starting a holistic business or a life coaching business, we think of the to-do list to do that and go, oh, nah, I just stay where I'm staying. So we use excuses. Okay, the humans use excuses. And one of the things that I have been listening to is 10X, which I highly recommend. It's a book and it will kick your butt. It will kick your butt big time. But what he actually talks about in 10X is he says, There is people that retreat, so they run and hide from these desires and dreams because it's too hard. There's the people, just the society and kind of the collective energy of the norm. And then there's the people that really exceed, that they succeed, they exceed in everything they do. They're cranking it. They're 10x people. They're successful because they strive. Now, who wrote the book? I'll have to get that to you because off the top of my head, it's not in my head. I do know it, but I'm in a train of thought right now, but I will let you know. So when we are sitting in the mediocrity, when we're sitting here in the whole, it's okay. It's okay that I'm not doing it. Nobody else is doing it anyway. It's just normal. That is like the worst place to sit, right? Because it makes it okay not to be striving for our goals. But we have all of this untapped potential. Now, if you've worked with me in Magnificent Mediumship or Release Your Blocks or one-to-one coaching, you will know we talk about capacities and we talk about, communicating with animals and spirit and all these different things. That's all untapped potential, really, superpowers. We tap into that stuff. It seems a bit sci-fi, but we have so much potential and capacities. So when we are playing norm, when we're going, no one else is doing it, it's okay, and every sociably acceptable, and when you want to 10x your goals, people around that dinner table are going to go, do you really need to do that? Can't you just be content with what you've created already? You've created a great life. And you go, oh yes, I don't want to be too selfish. No, don't want to do that. I better fit in. Even as a child, you might have been told to simmer on down. Don't try to strive for those stars, don't do it because we don't want you to get hurt. And this is, if that's you and you want to be just average and norm, then, you might get a little bit out of this workshop, but you're probably not going to get as much as what other people who don't mind doing 10x and really like focusing on their dreams. Okay. So there's no right or wrong, but some of these excuses that people make is they just can't do it. I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't have enough time. I've got kids. Seriously, I sometimes will be like, I've got kids. So it's great for these people who don't have kids. And when I hear myself saying that, I'm like, oh, Victoria, that is so norm. I'm not doing that. I'm 10x, man. Like, kids are a contribution to me. Kids are not something that take up my time. They're a contribution. So kids is an excuse. One day is a word. One day when I win lotto, I'm going to travel around. It's like all of this kind of deflecting, like, oh yes, I can't do that. Ifs and shoulds and maybes. I've got a job. And so I just can't fit it in. I can't fit in to do the workouts for my body. I don't have the time to spend with my partner or to do dating, whatever it is. I don't have time to have a side hustle. Like, I just don't have the time. So that's an excuse as well. Intelligence, I'm not cut out for it. I'm not bright enough. I'm from a family of very average people. Very average jobs. There's no way I'm going to be able to be a 10x coach or have a bodybuilder body or whatever it is that you want, like to be very, very wealthy, whatever it is. Your health. Yep, I was sick. I was sick, or I hit burnout. That was one of mine. I hit burnout. I don't want to hit it again. So I can't push myself too much. That's a fucking excuse. Now there's an awareness of, I'm going to go for that. So what can I do to support myself while I'm going for that, so I don't hit burnout? That's a different energy to, I can't do it, can't take on too much because I might hit burnout. I've got children, I've got a job. You can see there's different energies with that. There's the energy of, I can move with this. What is my potential? What is my capacities? Or no, resistance, wall up. Whenever there's a wall up and resistance, if you've worked with me, there's a crash. If there's a crash, that there is like it's uncomfortable. Where if you're like in the question of what else is possible, then of course it actually, the molecules can be played with and manipulated. But if you're in solid density, then of course, then you have that resistance, then that can be a lot harsher. So anymore, society, being in the norm, that is definitely an excuse. Family, I am so scared of what my family is going to think, that I'm a psychic medium and I do light language. I'm just using myself as an example. That was a legit excuse for me. I was like, my parents might disown me because they're religious, and other people's judgments. So if you've noticed any of these, just take a mental note or write them down. What excuses are you using for not showing up? Now, I'm going to show you how we can turn this around, but some people don't know what excuses they're using until they hear me repeat them. So if you did hear any of that, and I will send you an email with some of this as well so you can look at, write them down now. What are you using as excuses from stopping you achieving your goals? Just jot them down. You can write on top of this workbook as well on the title page. The other thing is some people don't know what their goals are. They don't even know what their targets are. They don't even know what they want. They don't even know what joy is or happiness is. Very common when people come to me, they don't know what their goals or joy or happiness is because they tried to fit into the norm. So much so that they fit it into other people's containers rather than their own. So that's why a lot of people come to me and they don't really know who they are. So they come into my programs like Release Your Blocks because they're like, yeah, I've got to find myself again. So we're going to be writing down some goals very shortly. Now, I want to, if anyone has any questions, pop them in the chat box. I know I'm going very fast. This is all recorded, but if you know me, you know that I want to share as much content as possible in this small amount of time. So what are we going to do when we're full of excuses? What are we going to do when we're full of negative mind chatter? What are we going to do when we truly freaking believe that we do not have enough time? Now, we all have the same amount of time and we're all busy. Interesting enough, you could have 3 children and you could have a side hustle, you could have a business, and you could go to the gym, you could do all of those things, or you could be single with no children and no side hustle and be just as busy. Time and busyness is a concept. It really, really is. And time is one of the biggest things that I struggle with because I'm like, how do I have enough time to do all of this stuff? And when I know that I'm functioning from time, I know I'm using excuses for not showing up. The truth is, you are the creator of your time. You create space around you for whatever you want, which means when you're saying one day and kids and I can't, if shoulds, maybes, your job, intelligence, health, background, society, family, and other people's judgments, they're all excuses. They are all excuses. It is not real because if you want something, if you want to 10x your body, your relationship, your finances, or your health or abundance, whatever, if you want to 10x any of that, that will be your priority and you will be focused. And when you are focused on something, you will achieve it. Now, that is how I've achieved creating my business in this last kind of 18 months and hitting bigger numbers and reaching more people is because I've been very dedicated and focused on it. That doesn't mean I've had to work myself into the ground and hit burnout again. It means that I've had to come more into alignment with who I be, which means I look after me. If we do not look after ourselves, mind, body, and soul, and we're going towards our targets, we will probably achieve them, but we may be leaking in some other areas. So we have these things, what I call energy leaks. So if you've worked with me, you'll know what I'm talking about. And, you know, an energy leak is where you may be focusing on your job and your business, but then your relationship is kind of, it's not as strong as it could be. So it's a little bit of an energy leak because you're being a little bit unconscious in that area. So my invitation to you is to look at all areas, health, wealth, and relationships, and to be strong in all areas and do some mind mapping and go, okay, cool. How can I be strong in all areas and manage my time and acknowledge that I create time and look at my priorities and see what needs to be dropped out and see what I can actually acquire, see what support I have. Now, the main things I notice with people is they're too afraid to ask for support So they might think they don't need a coach. They might think they don't need support because you're big. You're a big girl, a big boy. You can do it yourself. So they go, I can do it. And they get really stubborn about that. So they don't even ask from their spirit guides for support. Now, this is our stubbornness as human beings. We can do it. But we must ask for support from friends, from coaches and spirit guides. So that your spirit team is here to support you as well. But if we don't ask, we don't get. So yes, consistency. Consistency is huge as well. And this is what I see other people lack in. They lack in the consistency. They're just about to have this breakthrough. It gets a little bit hard and they go, oh, I'm just giving up. I have tons of people that do my programs and they private message me and said, I just about gave up. And I've had people give up. I'm not going to lie. I have people give up, but that's their choice. So they'll be like, fuck it, I'm giving up. And I have one-to-ones message me too, I'm fucking giving up. And I'm like, it's okay, but at least because I've voiced it to me, we can work through it. But people will do this. They just about had their breakthrough. It's getting really uncomfortable. The chaos is coming. They don't know if they can take it anymore. They're just about to break through. And then they give up. If they hold on, they break through and go, oh, that was a big ride, but I did it. So we must remember that the consistency of continuously going, but constantly tapping into all these different areas of ourselves. How am I going emotionally? What is my mindset doing? How are my boundaries going? What are my relationships doing? And just tapping into all areas and just keep going forward and keep going forward. Even if it's getting a little bit crunchy, we will get results. You will always get results. So rather than retreating, it's like going forward and 10xing. We see problems. A lot of people see problems and challenges as something they want to run away from. So they literally do fight or flight, fight or freeze. There's a lot of F's there. And literally they do that and then they're like, I don't know what to do. But when a problem comes or a challenge comes, or even a complaint, if people complain about you in your business or whatever it is, that's a good thing. Because it's like you're being noticed. It's when no one's noticing you that you're completely under the radar that you have to be like, hang on, like no one's noticing me at all. But when people are actually complaining or there's problems arising, it means things are shifting. So as human beings, we're so petrified of anything negative because we think that it's bad, but it's not necessarily bad. I had someone message me the other day and said, please stop tagging me in your posts. And I celebrated. I literally celebrated. I went, woohoo! Interesting because of course she doesn't need to go into where I've tagged her. Like I found it very interesting. Then I was like, I'm being seen. This is great. And I know when people start messaging me for advice or like I'm getting random messages from people, even if it's people from different countries and I have no idea who they are. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is a troll or not. I'm being seen. I'm being acknowledged. So this is a good problem. But we tend to run from problems as human beings because we saw other people run from problems. That's what we saw growing up. So being consistent, not giving up, having commitment, but constantly tapping in. Is this still aligned with me? Is it? Because we have to know that it's our prerogative to change our mind at any time. You can change your mind. That's your life. That's your reality. You can't worry about disappointing other people because that doesn't matter. It's about you and how you feel. So it's going to take effort to stay in your goals. We all go through different. Okay, so if you've been working with me, you know this. We go through different stages during the month. If you're a female, you go through different stages. If you are affected by the moon, which you will be because you're made up of water, you're going to go through different flows. If you are an emotional authority in human design, you're going to have a wave. This is life. But we've been told that if people are high or low or whatever, what's wrong with you? Are you all right? But the truth is we're designed to be in these flows. So once we get to know them, which I'm not going to go into, but once we get to know them, then it's okay. So how can we stay focused with and have the effort for this? Well, what we do is like, I know that when my menstrual cycle is coming, a couple of days before my flow, I'm not going to be like, like really pumped and go, 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 go all day. For me, that's just not going to happen. I can still flow, but I'm going to be gentle on myself. I know that if it's a full moon, I might be feeling a bit emo because I tap into all of the other crazies in the world that are all highly emotional. And I get a little bit cray too, or I release or I get emotional. That's okay. But we must, with that word effort, stay in the effort of the targets for what we are creating for July or whatever month it is. I want to make 100K this month or 10K this month, or I want to make some new friends this month. I want to find the man of my dreams this month. Setting those targets really, really high and holding that feeling of, yes, he's coming into my life, and yes, that money's coming in. Okay. And yes, it's all happening. It's all happening. So we're going to have mindset stuff. You're going to have emotional stuff. You're going to have consistency in there. You're going to have strength in there. All these things are going to happen, and you're all going to do it while you're going through flows. And like really respecting your flows, respecting your emotions, respecting yourself first and foremost, rather than going, I will get my goals no matter what it takes. Because there's some ego in there, and that can be good because I'm going to fucking get it. I'm going to get it. It's going to happen. I'll take whatever it takes. That's good. But if that's coming at if that's going to help deplete you in all areas, if you're going to trample over other people to get it, then that's more ego based, right? So there's two different parts of it. That's why I want you to look at this as a holistic point of view. To make money, sometimes it's not about the do. It's about coming back into yourself as the divine being, the divine feminine, like tapping into that energy. And it might mean going to the beach. It might mean actually meditating and going to sleep. That's what might make you money. It's about thinking outside of the square. So that's the amount of effort you need to put in. The effort I will put in for the goals that I'm going to do is tap into myself to stay focused on the goal and to align to my own requirements. Instead of what you're taught, if you go to business school, go, push. It might be, I'm going to bed at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm cutting television out, alcohol out, and I'm going to drink a fuckload of water because I know that's how my body works, and I know that gives me energy. And if I've got energy and I feel well rested and I've had a great sleep, then I know I'm going to be able to show up in the full alignment of who I be. So it's really looking after yourself. So questions and journaling and goal setting daily. 10x people that have got a really great balance in all areas of their life, multimillionaires, like people that are really achieving on all areas of their life, they don't set goals once a year on New Year's Eve or even on the first of every month. They get their journal out and they write goals every single day. So I've got a whiteboard and I look at my goals every single day and I'm like, wow, that was a really big goal. It's a big target, Victoria, but never rub it out and make that target smaller, which is something that I used to do. Okay, that was a little bit ambitious. Let's make it a little bit smaller. We are so petrified of failing or succeeding that we actually change our goals to suit our mood. And that's not what we're meant to do. You set your goals, you let it download. This is what I'd love to achieve with my body, with my finances, with my health, wealth, and finances. This is what I'd like to do in all the different areas. You write it down and go, right, what would this take? And hold that vision, visualize it and say, okay, I'm going to do my half and show up by following the aligned actions that I'm getting. What would it take today to make $10,000? What would it take today to love my body, or to find the partner of my dreams, or to enhance my relationships around me? What would it take? So asking questions like that and journaling about it as well, tapping in every morning, every night. Now, I want to be 10x. I choose to be 10x. I am 10x. So what I do is I get up at 5:20 every morning. Today, my hairdresser said, you're fucking crazy. And I said, I've got children. That wasn't my excuse. But I said, this is the time in the morning that serves me. right? So this is the time that serves me. Before children, I never woke up before like 12 in the afternoon if I wasn't working. So for me to get in a 10K run in the morning, which best serves me, to make my shake, to do my journaling, to do my yoga, to do whatever I'm choosing. I'm a bit flexible with that because I don't like to be too structured, but I know I'm going to get up in the morning. I know I'm going to serve myself. This diary is nearly full. It's just a cheapy diary. It's nearly full. I've never done a diary where I've written every day in it. I've always given up, but no more, because I want to 10x the living daylights out of my freaking life. I want to make money because I deserve to make money. I want to reach hundreds of thousands of people, even if that means doing free stuff, because I want to, because it fills me up. And if I can share how to get to 6-figure years, you know, if I can share how to have the best body in relationships, and I can share it while I'm doing it, then that lights me up. So I have to 10x by waking up early and by finding the deep, deep, deep passion. I will not retreat. Now, I might go and chill out and put some effort into myself before my period or on a full moon. But that doesn't mean I'm retreating. It just means I'm following the flow. I'm never going to give up on these targets that I'm making this month. It's very exciting. So journaling, I'm going to send you an email with this as well. But in the journaling, you can ask questions by doing that. Okay. What do I choose to be today? You've got many facets of who you be. Many facets. So what do I choose to be today? What contribution do I desire to be today? Who am I willing to receive from today? What energy am I choosing to show up in today? So these are going to be in the email, so don't worry too much about it. And even if I write one little question, you know, what energy do I choose to be today? You know, it might be like space for others, holding space. Or I might write a whole 3 paragraphs. I don't know. What contribution do I desire to be today? I desire to be, you know, the contribution of love, the frequency of love. If I set myself up for that in the morning, or money, or sex, because a contribution of giving and taking. What do I desire to be today? If I set myself up with that intention, it flows through the day, even with the bumps during the day. What am I willing to receive today? And that was the other thing. Many of the people I notice, they've got receiving issues, including myself. I keep falling back into that, but I keep coming back out. That's right. I'm willing to receive from my spirit guides, from my clients, from my friends, from my family, from my children. What would it take for me to receive money as if I'm like breathing it in? Found $5 on the street yesterday. I said to the girl I was running with, I probably wouldn't stop for 20 cents, but I would stop for $5. And I was like, that's an interesting point of view that I wouldn't stop for 20 cents. And I thought, that's right. Thank you, the universe. You've shown me before how to manifest thousands of dollars of cash that I had in my drawer, thousands of dollars cash. Like everyone just kept giving me cash. And it all started off with a 20 cents coin. I said, thank you, money. I love you. What would it take to make more of you? And all of a sudden, money starts popping up everywhere. You're like, fine. I find like $50 in my wallet or random pocket. There's $300. You're like, what? Like, where did this money come from? And all of a sudden, you've got thousands of dollars. Stop asking for it. Stop creating it. Stop being in gratitude in the frequency of love. Stop treating money like it's my lover. Stop doing all of that. Then I've got nothing again. I just start using the EFTPOS card. Whatever we focus our attention on, and we have consistency with, and we put effort into, we ask questions with, is going to come about. So other ways to journal. I'm feeling. Now this is for the people who are emotional authority as well in human design. I'm feeling this way. You can just journal about that. Or dear diary. That's like, if you don't know what to say, just write, dear diary. How are you? Like go old school. I'm so excited. I'm so damn excited that all this stuff is happening in my life. I'm so damn excited about this. I'm so damn excited about this. Don't know why I put damn in there. And also gratitude. I am so thankful for my family. I am so thankful for this. This is ways that you can journal. And then as you're going through the journaling, I'm so thankful for da, 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 da. Then you start manifesting and more. I'm so grateful for my house on the hill with the ocean view. I'm so grateful for the beautiful bikini body that I have because it feels strong and healthy. I'm so grateful for my partner. My relationship keeps getting better and better and better. I'm so grateful for my SUV. I'm so grateful for my beach house. I'm so grateful. And you start bringing in the things that you don't even have yet because they're all in your vortex. And then that is how you get what you want. This house was a thought until I created it. It was a thought that I sat there going, and I'm so grateful that I've got my office right here. And I'm so grateful for my moving desk and my laptop. Everything in my reality was a thought, including the money. This is what we must remember. Our thoughts are so important. And if your thoughts are negative, or you're saying, I'm just going to use one of my beautiful clients as an example, like with the words, I'm going to get there. I'm getting there. No, you are here. You are here now. Excuse me. It's all in our vortex. It's all here. But sometimes if it doesn't show up as quick as we want it to, we get very disheartened. We retreat. We fucking give up. I give up. That's it. I've been waiting for 3 years. But instead of giving up, you could ask more questions, feel more, and go, what would it take for it to show up faster than I could ever imagine? And then get out of your own way and feel it coming in, feel it coming in, feel it coming in. So, okay, we're going to have to get onto the workbook. Okay, so one of the things I want to say is habit. We create habits. Some of the habits I have, watching Netflix, that's a habit. Eating at night. Trying to lose weight and I'm eating at night. Yeah, TV, cell phone. You know, cell phones can be a real big distraction. I'm going to 10x my shit, man. Distractions are going this month. Alcohol's going, not that I've been drinking, but alcohol's going. Chips, giving up chips, because chips are one of those habits I have. Just grab a little kid's packet of chips. That was delicious. Just grab another little packet of chips. That was delicious. Might just grab a slice of cheese. You know, I want to lighten up because I'm running a marathon this month, which is one of my targets. So how can I support myself best in that? So how can I break these little habits? Because little habits create something bigger in the end. And for lasting change, we do 3 things. It's like either an environment. So your environment has to change around you for you to shift. So some of you, as you know, you probably know who I'm talking about, your environments have really affected your reality because of the other people in them. Right? Probably all of us, actually. It probably resonates with all of us in some way, shape, or form. Your environment has to change for lasting change, or you'll get an epiphany. Oh my God, I want to do that. That epiphany, it just drops in. That's the intuitive hit. So taking aligned action fast is good. Woohoo, Teal, you're moving. Or baby steps. So environment, epiphany, or baby steps. I'm going to cut out that little packet of chips and drink some more water. That's a very small step. I can guarantee that's going to have a huge effect on transforming my whole entire body. Okay, so that's how we do a lasting change: environment, epiphany, or baby steps. So you may even have some of those today and after, because you'll continue this journey for the next for this next month, of course. So 10x your goals. To 10x your goals, you have to get ready to be uncomfortable. Like I said at the beginning, I'm always ready to get into discomfort. Sometimes it's a little bit challenging, but that's okay. I have my cacao. My cacao grounds me. I have my coping mechanisms, and I don't want that to be food, TV, or Netflix. I want that to be grounding, like baths and going outside, and running is a big thing for me as well. So I'm going to support myself in all areas by swapping habits with habits, with good habits, more kind of healthy habits, you might say. So looking at your energy leaks, if you don't know what an energy leak is, like I said a little bit before, it's something that's not serving you. Loose boundaries is an energy leak. Saying yes when you mean no is an energy leak. Putting other people before you is an energy leak as well. Not doing what you really want to do and using all these excuses in the excuse list is an energy leak. It really is. You think it's selfish to go for your goals. Some people think it's selfish to really go, fuck it, I'm going for it. Nothing's going to stop me. And people go, but what about your children? Do you know how many times people have said to me, but what about your children? It blows my mind. I am such a good mum. I don't have to be with my kids all the time to be a good mum. I don't have to be like totally, let's do your spelling, let's do this, tuck them in at night, whatever. Like, I'm a good mum because I'm choosing me. I'm showing them how to do it, you know? So, yeah, what are these energy leaks that you've got? Where could you be dropping the mediocre, if that's the word, crap out of your life so you can 10x? Did you know that successful, really, really, really successful, like CEOs, the people that are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, read up to 60 books a year? That's more than one a week, right? That blew my mind. Most people, if you're going to average it out, read one. If you're going to average that out, one book a year. So I've decided if I'm going to 10x my stuff, I'm going to do one a week. Probably ebooks. I'm not going to read them. That seems way too hard. But I can multitask while I'm listening to a book. Self-help books. I love them. So I'm like obsessed with self-help books. So how do I 10x myself? What is going to expand my mind? What is going to expand it? By not being in the norm, by excelling at whatever I do, by showing up and never giving up and committing, which means if something doesn't work, that's okay. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to find another way because I'm not here to retreat. It's not going to happen. So what I want you guys to do is we're going to go through this workbook. I'm going to show you it, but I want you to make a personal statement for yourself. Now, if you've done my programs, you'll know I have a commitment contract, which is pretty cool. So this is kind of like a contract to yourself. I wrote a personal statement, which I'm going to read out just so you have an example so we can get into the workbook. And then I want you to sign it. So I've already done mine and I've already signed it. So I'm going to read it. I choose to commit to my living and to show up for myself this month in any way required. I will be kind to myself and always find or create time and space to achieve my targets and to tap into my potential beyond my own mind. That just came through. Yours might be a little bit different, but I know for myself that I require kindness because I've always been quite hard on myself to achieve things because I don't want to fail. So I was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to commit to myself and my living, which means if I want to go have a goddamn nap or a bath in the middle of the day, what do you think I'm going to choose? I'm not going to sit in front of my computer. I want to be the best coach possible. I'm going to go have a nap or a bath because that's going to make me more money than sitting in front of my computer. This is the new way of living. Okay, guys, a lot of talking, Victoria. I want you now to take a moment to write 3 to 5 big targets for this month ahead. They can be anything that comes to your mind. So I'm just going to be quiet for 2 minutes while you write 3 to 5 big targets this month ahead. And I just want to add in, these can be zero evidence goals. They might not even make any sense, but make sure you write them down. I'm just going to mute for a couple of moments. Alrighty. So you can continue this after, obviously. I am going to share my screen with you. Now, if you haven't got this printed off, then you can just write this in your diary. So I trust that you can see that. If you can't see my screen, please just comment. So this is the little workbook here. So I just want to explain it for a minute. Oh, I don't know how to get rid of this thing imagery here. Right. Okay. So what I love, okay, so if you were trying to find a man, I'm going to give an example for this. You'd have, if you were going to do this, I did this with many people when they were trying to find a beautiful man or a woman, whatever, is I had a circle with non-negotiable and then negotiable and then like this bonus, okay? So if you're trying to find a man, the non-negotiables would be like, okay, cool. So what do I want in a man that I will not do any negotiable on? Like, for instance, does he have to be tall? Maybe you cannot date someone shorter than you. Maybe that's like a non-negotiable, that's a deal breaker. So what is a deal breaker for you type of thing? So this is something like if you wanted to have children or you didn't want to have children, and for them it was the opposite. So maybe they really didn't want to have children and you did, but that was a non-negotiable for you. On the first date, if they said, I really, I don't want to have kids, or I can't have kids, and you're like, oh, I really do, sorry, thank you, but yeah, there's no point in us seeing each other again because that's my non-negotiable. This actually saves you a whole lot of time if it's to do with relationships. I'm just trying to give you the concept here. So the negotiable is maybe you don't particularly want a guy shorter than you, but it's okay, it's negotiable. If you really liked him, he's beautiful eyes and he's lovely, that's all good. So of course that wouldn't go on the non-negotiable. And then the bonus is he's tall, he's dark, he's handsome, he's rich, whatever, like they're all bonuses. But so the non-negotiables, of course, for me, if it was a relationship, is violence is definitely a non-negotiable for me. Drugs, that's actually a non-negotiable for me because I have children and I just don't want drugs around me. I don't even really want a party boy, really. They're all non-negotiables. I'd be like, nah. But the negotiable could be, oh, maybe he goes out once a month and parties. Okay, that's cool, whatever. And traveling, well, he doesn't really want to travel. Well, that's not really a big deal for me. I can definitely date somebody who doesn't really want to travel. He's a bit of a homebody. And the bonus is, oh, okay, cool, he's really good looking and he's wealthy, because that stuff that's not really that important to me. But for some people, it's a non-negotiable. They must have money. They must not be broke, because that's a deal breaker for me. So it depends on where you're at. So if it's a relationship, really good thing to do if you're single is to do this for relationships, because you're putting it out there. So the idea of this as well is I've created it for you so you can cover it the whole entire month. So we've got the 1, 2, 3. So 1 being non-negotiable, 2 being negotiable, and 3 being the bonus action. So I've done it in a way that you can write it up here. You can write what these things are for you when it's regarding, this one's for your body. And then you can actually go, okay, cool. How well did I do out of 1 to 10? Okay, cool. So non-negotiable. I didn't have alcohol and 30 minutes of exercise. I did that. So yay, I did so well, today. So I'm like happy with myself. So it's it's a 10. Yep, I'm happy with myself. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't do the exercise. I did drink alcohol. Okay, I'm not as happy with myself because I broke my own rules. So of course, that would be more like a 1. Okay, so 1 being unhappy, the least happy, 10 being the most happy. And if you do this every day, because this is really accountability, then you can rate yourself 1 to 10 on your non-negotiables, your negotiables, and your bonus action. So the job is going to be to fill these out. So we're going to whip through them and then you can do some more afterwards. So what energy leaks do I have? You can do this while I'm going through it with you. Do I have regarding this topic? So with your body, what energy leaks do you have regarding your body? Because you'll know how you want to feel with your body. You may want to have a goal for your body. I wrote self-talk. So I haven't been doing oh my gosh, Victoria, you've got such a beautiful body. I'm like, oh my gosh, energy leak. Yours might be negative mind chatter. Might be not moving enough. It could be too much, being not aligned with yourself. Might be too much coffee, not enough sleep, chips. So what energy leaks do you have regarding your body? Just kind of whip them off the top of your head. What can I add into this month for my expansion? Meaning, how can I really start tapping into my goals? And if it aligns more for you, you might want to start with, what are my goals to achieve this month? So for me, I'm doing half marathon. I want to lose a little bit of weight so I can run nice and lightly, and I want to feel energy. They're my targets with my body. And that might help you with the energy leaks. And what can you add in? Might be more sleep, more water, more body talk, more moving. Bedtime routine, support. Be a personal trainer. Water, healthy choices. Meditation. And so you can write these under here. And then with this little mind map here, you can write it on the lines, or you can write it in the circles. This is really just to give you an idea. In my book, I've just written them kind of anywhere. I just scribbled them down as long as I know where they belong. And obviously no alcohol and exercising every day is a non-negotiable for me. That's definitely going to happen. I do it like this. So then with the negotiable action, for instance, here, I know I've said no TV. I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to, because it's a distractor for me. But if I do, it's not a deal breaker. In early nights, I can't always commit to that because I do work in the evenings. So it's not a deal breaker. But if I do that, then I'll be really happy with myself. So I can give myself a 10 and go, oh, wow, that feels so good. And then with my bonus action, it's very much like, if I create meditating, if I create time to meditate every single day, it's not actually a non-negotiable for me. Some people I recommend it to, but I really do a lot of that stuff in the morning anyway. So if I don't get around to it, it's no big deal for me. It's just a bonus. So like I said, you can scribble it on the outside or in the circle. And then the things that are really important to you, you can highlight if you want to. I use a highlighter. What are my targets and goals to achieve this month with your body? And of course, once you've got that, the most exciting thing is, what actions can I make to make these a reality? So it's just another way and writing it down. So you've got your mind map and you've got this here. So it's about doing it the way that works for you. Actions is what creates change. And also swapping out that habit for habit. So instead of watching television or scrolling on your cell phone, my phone's off, the TV's off, and I'll go take a bath and maybe listen to my book. That's a really good way of getting things done. Or listening to a meditation in the bath, or spending some time with my loved ones, just talking, switching a habit for a habit. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Just racing through these, but you can definitely finish them off after. So with your relationships, now relationships are a key part. Sometimes they're the things that drop out because we're too work focused, or we're focusing on our kids, or, you know, whatever it is, our relationships can be the thing that they kind of drop down. They're not necessarily our priority, but they should be one of our biggest priorities. So here, okay. So one of the things is, and if you guys do have to jump off, that's totally cool. You can finish this later because you've got the gist of it. But if you can stay for another 10 minutes, it'd be fantastic. So then you know that you're getting it done. So with relationships, I know that my poor husband is probably the person who, I drop real quick if it comes to with focusing on my job or my kids, or even my body. So I have to keep reminding myself, okay, this is the most important part of my relationship, of my life, is my relationship as well with myself and with my husband. If you don't have a relationship with a partner right now, you might want to spend this time working out what type of person you want to be with, and basically kind of call them in. You can do that with this part, or you can just focus on the relationships that you have. Maybe it's your work colleagues, maybe it's your children, or your friends, or your family, your extended family. What energy leaks do you have regarding this topic? What I've written on some of these is time. I don't have time for all the relationships. Time and energy and excuses. I just want you to notice those energy leaks as well and see if they're real, because excuses aren't real. Energy is not real because we are energy, and time is not real. What can I add into the month for my expansion, for my relationships? And then looking at the mind map there, obviously we've got the examples in there of that was for the body, but what are some non-negotiables that you can add in? So it might be to do with your children or your friendships or your partner, or calling in your partner. You may want to go, okay, cool. So this is the type of partner I want. These are the non-negotiables, these are the negotiables, and there's the bonus, when it comes to calling him in. Or you could be like, okay, how do I enhance my current relationships? So, mine's going to be making sure I have 30 minutes per person, each child and my husband, to just spend with them in presence, with no cell phones, with no television. Making sure at dinner time there's no distractions. It's really important. It's a non-negotiable. No cell phones at the table. No cell phones after, 5 o'clock. Maybe it's, having relationship with all of those in your vortex as you are, when you go to the supermarket, when you go out into reality, at the school drop-off, or to your local cafe. Maybe it's having connection with every single person in your reality and being expanded and saying, what can this create more for my reality with all of my relationships? Food for thought. What are your targets and goals to achieve this month for these relationships? And what actions can I take to make these a reality? You may even be in a relationship that you don't want to be in. What are you going to do about it? How can you enhance your reality to 10x everything in all ways? And then, of course, remembering the non-negotiables. It could be that 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and 30 minutes, like I'm going to do. And rating yourself, 1 out of 10. And this isn't to make yourself feel like shit, by the way. I don't want you to do that. It's just to go, you know what, like, okay, you can get better and better and better throughout the month. Maybe you start off with, oh gosh, I really just did not create that space. And it's not an excuse. Like, you can just go, I didn't do it, straight up, taking responsibility. I did not create the space to spend some time with my family today. It didn't happen, so that's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up. Sun is rising. Oh goodness, Teal, I hope you get some snoozes. And then as you go down, like, don't give up. Don't give up. Try to actually, now relationships might be something that you can't be bothered working on this month, and that's okay as well. But at least doing this and checking in with yourself is great. Okay. We'll just go through now to abundance and finances. Now, this is something that many people, many people can struggle with, because there's energy leaks in some of areas of our life. Finding that balance can be hard. So what are your targets and goals to achieve in this month with the finances and abundance coming into your life, money coming into your life? Maybe some of those actions could be doing what I said and going, okay, I'm going to start off with 20 cents and see how much I can create by asking questions. If you could treat money like your lover, and you were just obsessed with loving it, and you did like a mind map of all the beautiful things that you wanted, you wore your beautiful diamonds, and you bought yourself a new beautiful hat or some beautiful underwear, like, which made you feel rich and abundant, like, how would that change your reality? What are your current energy leaks regarding money, abundance, finances? Because everyone has energy leaks. Do you focus on the lack or on the bills? Do you focus on the bank account dropping instead of rising? Instead of your potential of making millions and focusing on your capacities? So what energy leaks do you have regarding abundance and finances? What excuses have you been using? Make sure you write them down, and it might take a little bit longer than just this little workshop. This is really a taster of what you can tap into. You may even decide to do another mind map, a bigger one on a piece of paper. An energy leak could be like, oh, there's just so many bills and never enough money. The money comes in and it goes out. It might be your self-talk about money. Maybe you truly believe that you're just not destined to have it. Then we need to look at those and see why they're not real. What can I add into this month for my expansion? The truth about money is that if you are expanded and aligned, if you are in the feeling of contribution and joy, if you feel elevated and you're in gratitude, then you can't lack it. But when you're popping in and out of that and you're focusing on the lack, then you become lack. and the universe matches that. So what would it take for you to have a really fucking amazing relationship with your finances and love those figures and watch that grow, even if you start with 20 cents? Maybe it's hundreds of thousands that you want to see in there. And going to those non-negotiables as well. Okay, non-negotiable could be something like my mindset and my words about money. I will not complain about lack for this entire month. In fact, every time I complain about lack, this could be an action, that could be a non-negotiable. Every time I complain about lack, I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to flip it upside down and go, I am abundant, I am joyful, I am the vibration of money. How would that change your reality? If you went, oh, fuck, the bills keep coming. You go, whoops, stop. That's non-negotiable, not allowed to talk like that. I'm abundant, I'm joyful, I'm the vibration of money. What would it take to have it flow to me? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's already in my vortex. Because if you are in that negativity, no one cares. It's your reality, remember. That's a good one. Start a large swear jar. Well, the thing is about adding money up as well. I know the girl I run with, she does a $2 run thing. So she put $2 in a jar every time she goes for a run. Now she's going to go buy herself a $250 pair of shoes. It's not a bad idea. So what actions can I take to make this a reality? I desire hundreds of thousands of dollars in my bank account. I desire to be abundant in all areas. And I know that if I put this out there and I know that it's coming to me, it's in my vortex, I know it in the core of myself, and I don't go into retreat mode, I know it's coming, but I drop all expectation of how it is going to come. I trust that I will take the aligned action when it drops in. This is an aligned action workshop. Doesn't make any sense. I only thought about it 3 days ago. Trust, trust, trust. So non-negotiables, negotiables, and bonus action. Could be your thoughts, it could be your mindset, it could be your feelings, it could be, what are you doing? It's just whatever pops up for you. And then finally, the last but not least, now this is one that I've just created. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I wrote questions with awareness because I want you to tap into something you want to focus on. Like it could be a new partner, it could be a new house, it could be your business. For me, it's spiritual and business growth. I am really, really I want to say up-leveling, for a lack of a better word, up-leveling, quantum leaping in all areas. I've got the most incredible program coming out called Quantum Key, which is unlocking of like galactic light code, or galactic light coding unlocked, which is a next level program. So I must expand. So spiritual and business growth for me is next level. And I know some of you are at the beginning of that expansion with your own businesses. So what would it take for you to have a 10K month or 100K month? What would it take for you to step in to your capacities and your potential and go, fuck it, I'm going to do 10X, man. And like I said, go and Grant Cardone, oh my God, I just have to let you know, but Cardone, I think. It's a great book, but we must remember with 10Xing is also alignment, not pushing through all the thresholds into breakdown or burnout, because you've done that. So what I'm using spiritual and business growth, you can put whatever you want to put in there. Maybe it's awareness. Maybe it's questions for your awareness. So for me, my excuses about business growth and spiritual growth was time, energy, and excuses. So what can I cut out for that? Well, TV, social media, like scrolling. What are the stupid little things that I'm doing that are distracting me from being the $1 million coach and reaching all the people I desire to reach. You know, that might be similar for you, or might be something completely different. Maybe you want to finish a program. Maybe it was NLP that you brought on Udemy. Maybe you want to start your business or really make a big, big difference in that body, which you've got a body one there. Where do you want to excel more than anything? July is your year. It's your month. This is your year. What can I add into my month? I wrote support from my coach and support from my team, my spiritual team, and listening to an ebook every week. That's a pretty big, that's 10x right there. Not listening to it once a week, working out every day, giving myself the time and space I require, knowing that thousands of dollars are going to reach me. They have to. I'm not available for anything else. And I'm going to set myself up as the $1 million version of me. What I wrote in these here, in the circles, is rest. A non-negotiable for me is rest. For me to make money, for me to be in a spiritual and business growth that I desire, to align to my design even more, to be a better coach, to be a person who's deep in my own wisdom, I require rest. That's a non-negotiable for me. Rest. And if you're a projector and you're listening to this is one for you too. A book a week, that is going to help me to strive. I'm going to consume information. I'm going to love it. Baths. Baths is a non-negotiable for me. I must have a bath. Now, bath could go a negotiable because I may not have one every single day. It just depends. Again, early nights, no TV. That's going to be a part of my massive success. Stretching, my relationships, my body, my finances, all of these are going to be a massive contribution. The bonus action with my spiritual growth is, talking to people, podcast interviews, putting myself out there on social media, doing free stuff like this. That's all bonus actions. So I would spend quite a bit of time on this one, or write your own in a way that suits you. And again, 1 to 10, how you're going with that, and your non-negotiables, your negotiables, and your bonus action. You've got 31 days. That is, I'm not sure how many hours. I'm not sure how many minutes or how many seconds. Just while you're finishing that, I'm going to stop sharing this. But one thing is for sure, life goes really fucking fast. You may have lost somebody close to you recently. You may have lost somebody too young. You may have even lost a child, or know of children that have been lost. And I'm not trying to pull up these pain points to hurt you, but you may have had depression. You may have got to the point where you're like, I don't even want to be here. I know I've been there. So making July a month of celebration, it's like in the middle of the year. Well, it's actually over the middle of the year, but whatever. Celebrating everything. It snowed here in our town the other day, and I found $5 on the road. And then I got to catch up with an old friend from Australia who was like a second mum, and I was nearly in tears at the end of that day because I said, today has been a great day. It snowed. The kids squeaked with joy. Time to take action. It's the new year beginning. Exactly. Well, it's mid-year Christmas, isn't it? I went past the chemist and went, why is there a Christmas tree up? I started freaking out. I was like, have I just collapsed time? Shit, am I losing it? And they're like, mid-year Christmas. It's a new beginning. 4th of July is in a couple of days. Independence Day. It's about us to make these excuses. Don't cut it. You can have times when you want to go to bed. I'm going to go have a bath straight after here and have a cacao and lie in that bath. And right now I feel like crying because I know we get to choose every day to live. We've all had shit happen to us. We've all had people go too young. Most of us have experienced trauma. Most people have. But what if we could just go, fresh start, let's go. Let's look at any energy leaks or mistaken beliefs or limitations. And that's the stuff I go deeper into with my programs, of course. And if you have got Release Your Blocks program, go back to it and rewatch limitations and mistaken beliefs. Go to the mind maps. It's a program that's been created that you can go over and over and over for your whole life. I know many people doing it again and having new experiences. If you haven't done it, reach out if you want to do it, right? Support and accountability is up to you, but sometimes we need help. Now, the guys that created Gmail and Facebook, they actually even struggle to not be addicted to their own apps. They have to get help. So they turn off their own cell phones. The guy who created Gmail got addicted to Gmail. You can watch it on The Social Dilemma. It's fascinating. So if you're addicted to something, maybe it's a substance, maybe it's like smoking, maybe it's eating. I love food. I'm a little bit addicted to food and coffee, not going to lie. It's one of my coping mechanisms. And I don't sleep enough. I don't rest enough. I'm a projector. I'm meant to rest a lot. I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to get better. I'm choosing to do more, and I'm choosing not to be an asshole to myself and go, well, I might as well just give up now. When someone goes, I had the bowl of ice cream, I might as well just give up now on the month. I want you to go, no, I'm not going to give up. I just won't have ice cream tomorrow. Whoop-de-doo, I had an ice cream, big deal. I had fish and chips last night. Oh, well, never mind. Carry on. But looking at those numbers, because when you start getting 10, 10, 10, 10, yes, I did it. And trying not to get anything less than a 10 for those non-negotiables, guys, like seriously, my non-negotiables, I ain't going to be watching whatever I said on here. I've got it all written down because I'm doing this too. So that's a lot of information. You're probably quite chunked out now. I did throw a lot at you. Take your time to go through it. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, please feel free to put it in here. And before you leave, I would love you to write, because you may just go and chunk out after this, I'd like you to write yourself a personal statement about how you're going to show up for this month. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that and sign it. So I trust you guys, you would have all got something different out of this. I trust that you received what you required to receive. This is the very beginning. I'm going to go and finish mine now. Because I haven't finished mine either. And I'm going to get a highlighter, and I'm going to make sure that I write my goals for my body, for my finances, which I've already done, and for my relationships. Because nothing needs to suffer, and we can have it all, but we have to start getting familiar with being rich in all areas of our lives. Excuses will not cut it. Lack of time is not real. You might need to drop something out, and that's okay. Probably something very basic like TV or cell phones. Because we do get a little bit, you guys will know, I'll be sitting there and I'll be scrolling and I'll go, holy shit, I'm unconsciously scrolling. And when you do that, just go, put the phone down, put it onto flight mode, get it away. Like when I start checking my emails 10 times a day or checking for my one-to-ones, is my one-to-ones message me? I'm like, hang on, this is not aligned Victoria. This is Victoria who's distracting herself from showing up, where I could be listening to an ebook or having a rest or a bath, because I'm a mermaid, I like to do that stuff. Or I could be learning or doing doing whatever. So it's time to take control and responsibility. And what I want to leave you on as well is making sure you celebrate, making sure that maybe if you have some targets and goals for these things, that you're going to celebrate at the end of the month, even if it means that your targets were so fucking crazy, zero evidence, that maybe you don't achieve them. Maybe you say, I want $1 million this month, and maybe you don't make it happen. Maybe you don't truly believe you can make $1 million this month. Maybe it's too much for your mind to comprehend. But if you tried your very best and you took actions, then celebrate yourself anyway. You reach for $1 million and you take the aligned actions, you're going to make 100,000. Come on. Like, how does it get any better than that? You're going to achieve something if you're going towards the direction of your dreams. And also, there are going to be people around you, if you share these things with them, if they're pretty high targets like mine are, that are going to go, really? Really? Isn't that a bit too much for you? You taking on more? People are going to try and cut you down. But don't go into resistance. Just, don't even tell them. Tell people they're going to support you. Or you can like literally just be like, it's an interesting point of view. They have that point of view because I'm 10xing my life and other people aren't. And that's okay. They don't have to, but it's a fucking 1st of July. So we can have a nice clear slate, and every day is a nice clear slate. So don't give up if you have that bowl of ice cream, right? Just go, sweet as, I'm just going to go counteract that out with a walk. Get over it. And if you have any negativity and stuff, just notice the negativity and go, that's really interesting. So be the observer of your own mind. You know, if you've got mind chatter and you're not sleeping at night, that's a loose boundary. What boundaries around me can I clean up? Where do I have loose boundaries and I'm not taking responsibility for my own time, my own space, or my own finances? Where you're at right now is a result of the choices you've made. You know, and when we take full responsibility for that and we stop blaming other people, your life will clean up really quick. Trust me, I had to learn the hard way and take full responsibility for myself. Okay, guys, we're going to leave it there. I'm sorry we've gone over time. I did actually think I could have fit this in for an hour. Maybe I was tripping out. So I want you to pop in the chat box. One word that you've received? Maybe you're fucking confused after this. Maybe you've got clarity. Maybe you've noticed something. Pop a sentence in or one word below on how you're feeling. So I know, I can trust, but I really want to know that some of you have got some stuff out of this. So you can pop it in the chat box. Sleepy. I thought you might say something like that, Lisa. Clarity on how to set goals. Cool. Grateful for you and your time. Oh, thank you, Emma. I'm very grateful for you guys as well and your time, because it's an investment. Thank you so much, Victoria. I gotta go. Thank you, Melanie. Inspired. Awesome. Taking action. Yes. Inspirational. Ready to excel. Yes. Yes. Well, I'm running a half marathon. Got a lot of stuff happening this month. We can do many, many things. We've got a lot of potential. It's just creating the balance. And like, Lisa said she's tired. She may need to go have a little non-eyes, need to do some work on myself. So, okay, one thing as well is, let's change the words around. I'm choosing to do work on myself. I'm choosing to make lots of fucking money. I'm choosing to be who I be. I'm choosing to be graceful. Someone said graceful when I'm being judged. I am choosing to look at my targets every day and realign and reassess and adjust. Your goals are going to change. You might go, I'm going to run 10K every morning, and then you might get your period and really can't do it. It's going to change. Instead, I'm going to do some yoga and meditate. It's just shifting and adjusting. There's no right or wrong. Okay, thank you, my loves. I will let you go and I will send you an email soon. You're going to have the replay. A lot of information. I probably could have made this 3 hours, but if you know me, you know I just get stuff done. You might want to re-watch it. You're very welcome, Julie. And if you have any questions, let me know via email and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, guys. So much love. Bye.